My name's Arthur and I thank you for joining me as we share together from Leviticus chapter 8. I hope you don't find these readings of the sacrifices of the Jewish people boring, although I do understand if you can't get your head around all that's going on. But they are important because Moses has taken 7 chapters already to outline the burnt offering, the grain offering, the peace offering, the sin offering and the trespass offering. And now we come to the offering of consecration. These things are important because the Jewish people enacted these things for close to 1400 years, from when Moses established the tabernacle until the destruction of the temple in AD 70, except for 70 years when the temple was not functioning because it had been destroyed by the Babylonians. And so we can't go now and actually observe what the Jewish people are doing. But what we do have, and what we're reading together, is the instructions God gave Moses concerning these things. For these things model the way that we can approach God in worship, in fellowship, and in seeking forgiveness. Well, chapter 8 brings us to the first operation of some of these things, with the consecration of Aaron and his sons to undertake the offerings at the altar. For not everybody was able to offer the sacrifices. It was the preserve of Aaron and his family to actually present the blood of the sacrifice before the Lord. Let's read Leviticus chapter 8. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Take Aaron and his sons with him, and the garments, the anointing oil, a bull as a sin offering, 2 rams, and a basket of unleavened bread, and gather all the congregation together at the door of the tabernacle of meeting. So Moses did as the Lord commanded him, and the congregation was gathered together at the door of the tabernacle of meeting. And Moses said to the congregation, This is what the Lord commanded to be done. Then Moses brought Aaron and his sons and washed them with water. And he put the tunic on them, girded them with the sash, clothed him with the robe, and put the ephod on him, and he girded him with the intricately woven band of the ephod, and with it tied the ephod on him. Then he put the breastplate on him, and he put the Urim and the Thummim in the breastplate. And he put the turban on his head. Also on the turban on its front he put the golden plate, the holy crown, as the Lord had commanded Moses. Also Moses took the anointing oil and anointed the tabernacle and all that was in it, and consecrated them. He sprinkled some of it on the altar 7 times, anointed the altar and all its utensils, and the laver and its base, to consecrate them. And he poured some of the anointing oil on Aaron's head, and anointed him, to consecrate him. Then Moses brought Aaron's sons, and put tunics on them, girded them with sashes, and put hats on them, as the Lord had commanded Moses. And he brought the bull for the sin offering. Then Aaron and his sons laid their hands on the head of the bull for the sin offering. And Moses killed it. Then he took the blood, and put some on the horns of the altar all around with his finger, and purified the altar. And he poured the blood at the base of the altar, and consecrated it, to make atonement for it. Then he took all the fat that was on the entrails, the fatty lobe attached to the liver, and the 2 kidneys with their fat, and Moses burned them on the altar. But the bull, its hide, its flesh, and its offal, he burned with fire outside the camp, as the Lord had commanded Moses. Then he brought the ram as the burnt offering. And Aaron and his sons laid their hands on the head of the ram. And Moses killed it. Then he sprinkled the blood all around the altar. And he cut the ram into pieces, and Moses burned the head, the pieces, and the fat. Then he washed the entrails and the legs in water. And Moses burned the whole ram on the altar. It was a burnt sacrifice for a sweet aroma, an offering made by fire to the Lord, as the Lord had commanded Moses. And he brought the second ram, the ram of consecration. Then Aaron and his sons laid their hands on the head of that ram, and Moses killed it, Also he took some of the blood and put it on the tip of Aaron's right ear, on the thumb of his right hand, and on the big toe of his right foot. Then he brought Aaron's sons, and Moses put some of the blood on the tips of their right ears, on the thumbs of their right hands, and the big toes of their right feet. And Moses sprinkled the blood all around on the altar. Then he took the fat and the fat tail, all the fat that was on the entrails, the fatty lobe attached to the liver, the 2 kidneys and their fat, and the right thigh. And from the basket of unleavened bread that was before the Lord, he took 1 unleavened cake, a cake of bread anointed with oil, and 1 wafer, and put them on the fat and on the right thigh. And he put all these in Aaron's hands and in his sons' hands, and waved them as a wave offering before the Lord. Then Moses took them from their hands and burned them on the altar, on the burnt offering. They were consecration offerings for a sweet aroma. That was an offering made by fire to the Lord. And Moses took the breast and waved it as a wave offering before the Lord. It was Moses' part of the ram of consecration, as the Lord had commanded Moses. Then Moses took some of the anointing oil and some of the blood which was on the altar, and sprinkled it on Aaron, on his garments, on his sons, and on the garments of his sons with him. And he consecrated Aaron, his garments, his sons, and the garments of his sons with him. And Moses said to Aaron and his sons, Boil the flesh at the door of the tabernacle of meeting, and eat it there with the bread that is in the basket of consecration offerings, as I commanded, saying, Aaron and his sons shall eat it. What remains of the flesh and of the bread you shall burn with fire. You shall not go outside the door of the tabernacle of meeting for 7 days, until the days of your consecration are ended. For 7 days he shall consecrate you. As he has done this day, so the Lord has commanded to do, to make atonement for you. Therefore you shall stay at the door of the tabernacle of meeting day and night for 7 days, and keep the charge of the Lord, so that you may not die, for so I have been commanded. So Aaron and his sons did all the things that the Lord had commanded by the hand of Moses. So the things covered in this chapter, as Aaron and his sons are inaugurated as priests, is first of all the gathering of the bull for a sin offering, 1 ram as a burnt offering, and a ram as a kind of peace offering, but for the consecration of Aaron and his sons. They are washed, they are clothed in the special clothes that were prepared as described in the book of Exodus, and then the sacrifices were made. So, first of all, we have a major sin offering, a bull, for the priests, that the priests' sins might be atoned for, that they might be free to enter into the presence of God on behalf of the people. And then there was the burnt offering, offered on their behalf by Moses, indicating that their lives now belonged to God, and they were dedicated to his service for the whole of their life. And then there was the peace offering, the offering of consecration, part of which Moses would eat, part of which the priests would eat, part of which was burned on the altar as a sweet-smelling aroma, and eaten with bread. And the priests were to spend 7 days at the door of the tabernacle of meeting, getting used to the idea that they were now God's priests. They were now God's representatives. And the tabernacle and all the furniture and the priests were sprinkled with anointing oil, and the priests were also sprinkled with the blood of the offering, so that they would have on them the sign of the fact that blood was shed to make atonement for the people. But in this way, God would be able to dwell with his people, and the priests would be able to represent the people before the Lord, and the Lord before the people. The dedication of the priests to the Lord was signified by applying the blood of the consecration offering to Aaron's right ear, to the thumb of his right hand, and the big toe of his right foot, and similarly for his sons, that he might hear the word of the Lord, that he might do the word of the Lord, and that he might go where the Lord sent him.